Hey everyone, I'm Curtis,
And I'm Shank.
and you're listening to the Good Buds Podcast.
Let's shred some weed.
Welcome to the Good Buds Podcast, the show where good buds smoke good buds and talk about them. This is episode 9, airing Monday, October 12th, 2020, on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Thanks for joining us.
This episode is brought to you in memory of Eddie Van Halen, the talented musician responsible for many musicians' love of shredding and wild stage antics, who passed away recently. I know that I will personally be shredding a guitar solo later on this evening, and I hope that all of you out there will, who are touched by his music will continue to be touched by his music in the future. R.I.P. in peace, big guy.
Rest in peace, Eddie. You and I had a similar idea. I was definitely hot for my teacher.
Yeah,
So,
probably
Shank,
more than one.
So Shank, other than that dreadful news, how are you today?
Yeah, aside from that bad news, I do have some good news today for folks out there. I got a new microphone. They may notice a nice distinct audio quality change there. If not, I definitely do, and I'm super stoked about it. It's some great news. So how about you, man? How's your day been?
My day's good. I got a little bit of work done on the social medias. Links in the description. And yeah, it's been good. My dad actually was showing me some pictures from a trip that he took to Washington D.C.
Oh, nice, cool, man.
Yeah, it was interesting. He had pictures at all like the touristy spots, like Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the White House.
Yeah.
He did go to this one building that I was a little perplexed by, because it was like, it was, I didn't know what it was, so I'm like, Dad, what is this building? He's like, this is the U.S. Treasury, this is where they print all the money. I'm like,
Oh, cool, like the mint. Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like what we're doing here, be sure to check out our Patreon page. We finally launched it. You can click the link in the description below and see our reward tiers.
You absolutely can. We have 6 reward tiers available, and we would love it if you would consider supporting the show for future episodes. So, Curtis, let's get into the review.
Good Buds Review, Good Buds.
So, Curtis, what are you burning today?
Well, Shank, today I am burning on some Gorilla Cookies.
Oh.
I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, didn't he review this strain before? Maybe.
Question
The
mark?
genotypes are very similar on this one, but I believe it's a different strain of Gorilla Glue and a different strain of Girl Scout cookies. But regardless, it's a much different strain than I have smoked before. Now, similarly though, this is still a hybrid indica dominant, but I don't know. This is a very vibrant green nug. It is super tightly packed. Like, this is almost pebble-like. Like, go ahead and listen here.
You're not just dropping a marble, are you?
No, that is a nug right there.
Oh, I love it.
But it's this very nice, vibrant green, and it has a very even distribution of these prison jumpsuit-colored orange hairs that kind of blend together with the green in there. And it's so tightly packed that the crystals are actually mixed like thoroughly throughout, and there's like no stickiness to it, but it still just sparkles ever so slightly in the light.
Nice.
Now, the smell. Oh, that's good to fill your nostrils. That smells like a summer hike in the middle of the woods. It smells like ferns and trees topped with morning dew. Like, it's got this fresh floral aroma with tones of mint. It's got this tangy citrus scent to it, and it's very nice. Now the scent increases even more when it gets ground up. It becomes very pungent. And yeah, just accents the scents a little bit more, grind up the terpenes and get that good buzz going.
Nice.
Oh yeah. So what are you gonna be smoking on for us today, Shank.
Well, I know that your strain leaves us with some question marks, but so does mine. I'm smoking a strain called Seagrass, which I love the name
Ooh.
automatically because I love the sea. It's made by Scotia brand. Now, the weirdest thing about it is that I wasn't able to find any information about this strain online at all, including on the website that of the brand that made the strain. So I don't know if it's a new strain that's so new that we are literally the first people that are going to have a review about this out there, or it's an old strain that's been scrubbed from the internet like Beyonce's picture that we're not legally allowed to mention. But I do know it's a hybrid because it says that on the package.
Huh.
Yeah. So as for the look of this stuff,
Well,
it
wait.
looks beautiful. Oh,
What's the brand again?
the brand is Scotia. It's a Scotia brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Makes
Scotia
sense.
brand, and they are in Nova Scotia. Actually, they are the first legal grower in Nova Scotia, I believe.
Really?
They were the first licensed. Yeah, like what, at least the parent company or the company associated with them. They're like the first. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So seagrass here is one of my favorite types of weed, mainly because of the fact that it is one of those dark strains. It's like very brown and very green, and a lot of people look at brown weed and they're kind of like, oh, but I love it. I love seeing that because it reminds me of an old strain I used to love. So this is very dark brown and green. Tight nugs, not quite as tight as yours sounded there. I mean, I don't think they'd click if I dropped them. But they have this really nice sheen almost of crystal coating the top of them. They almost like have a shimmer to them. And when you hit them with the flash of your camera, it almost looks like a delicious caramel candy that has little bursts of orange throughout it, like some orange zest. As for the smell, I love the smell. Oh, nice. It's musky and deep, kind of cucumber-like smell almost, with a salty, ocean-like undertone. It makes sense why they would call it seagrass, because it smells like seagrass, vaguely. And it's got these kind of faint notes, these hints underneath of pine and citrus that are sitting deep in the mix. But they are noticeable, especially if you kind of bury your nose into the container like I like to do with this strain because it smells so fantastic. It's so great. So now I know that there's not any reviews for mine online. I can give an initial review after my hit, but I think we should try these out, give them a hit in our bong, and let's just kind of see how they treat us.
That sounds good to me. My bong's all packed. I got my lighter here.
Mine, ditto,
All right, sir. Tokes kabokes.
toast, bokes. Oh man. Wow, that's unusual.
Nice.
Curtis, how's yours treating you there, brother? How's that taste?
So, I'm getting this very smooth, very floral toke, and it's nice. It's a nice cooling toke. It kind of coats the roof of your mouth almost, and then it just slowly like rolls over your tongue, almost like a Kiss concert.
I see what
Um,
you did there.
I mean, two ways than one. Um,
Yeah.
so and then the flavor, it moves from the floral to like this nice minty tone, and then it has this very, I wouldn't say overwhelming, but it swoops in there. It's a nice earthy umami taste in the background that kind of pushes
Nice.
itself forward at the end. Um, all in all, a very nice calming hit. How about you? What are you feeling?
Mine tastes amazing. It's got very subtle pepper notes with a very clean inhale. When you're taking it in and drawing on it, you barely feel anything at all. It has an almost spicy, like capsaicin-like exhale, but without the hurt. So like the weakest, like a bell pepper, I guess. And but it's got that nice kind of spicy taste with no dry mouth or sense of dry mouth at all. Overall, I would say it has low flavor profiles. It's not a very strong, pungent flavorful weed, but it was a very good feeling experience all around, and the flavor of it was still good. Like what little flavor it had was enjoyable.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I like it. So I know that
Right.
mine doesn't have any reviews, but yours probably does. If you want to hit us with some
Oh yeah.
opinions that other people have online, that'd be
Of
great.
course. Of course, these are opinions of other stoners online. We are other stoners that are going to add our opinions to the onlines.
Opinions.
So, uh, Gorilla Cookies has a very relaxed, euphoric body high. It's got a focused energy to it. Great for pain and stress relief. It does come with a little side effect of cotton mouth, but I do have some nice beverages nearby, so hopefully I can subdue the cotton mouth.
Yeah, fight it off. Fight it off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um, so that's good. That's good. So I can give my initial reaction to that hit. I can at least tell you that much since I don't have an actual review from anybody else online. But it does have like a nice little head bump right off the beginning there. It's one of those strains that when you take the hit, even though it wasn't a breathtaking hit, like it wasn't one of those strains that makes you cough your lungs out or that's like puts you into a chair. It still made me feel very nice, like warm-headed and frontal lobe. That front area of your brain that gets warm sometimes when you smoke the right strains. So that's nice. And I'll give some updates, in throughout the episode just to let people know how this one works. And if I get any more information, because I did contact Scotia. To find out if I could get more information about the strain. If I get it, I would love to update our audience as well as you, Curtis, on any information I get about this strain in the future. So if they message me back, we will be updating either through social media, if you guys follow us, or we'll do it on the next podcast.
Hey guys, we ended up contacting Scotia through email trying to figure out if we could find any more information on this strain. And they were relatively quick to reply, and we ended up getting a full terpene breakdown and THC content through an email by them. They said that they were having troubles putting the strain up on their website. We checked this morning, and the strain is now up on their website with full terpene breakdowns, full THC contents. So you guys are free to go check that out at Scotia's website, and we thank you very much, Scotia, for your quick and kind customer service. Back to the episode.
I know, Curtis, did you bring a joint with you?
Uh, I got one. Hold up. God damn. I hate these new packaging systems that they got.
Yeah, it's weird.
Alright. I got my joint. How about you, sir?
Yeah, yes, I definitely, and yeah, it's packaging's weird in Canada. They don't let us use cans, but it's there we go. Okay. Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay. So, as we always say, it's 420 somewhere. Lighters out,
indeed.
bro. Let's burn them.
Oh my god, I freaking love this stuff. I love how it tastes. I love the weird feeling of it in my mouth. It's such a strange toke. I haven't had a feeling this kind of weed. Like nostalgia weed. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm sure our listeners.
Brings you back.
Yeah, like I'm sure our listeners know too. Like, but do you know what this strain? It just hit me, man. Like, do you know what this strain brings me back to? It brings me back to a Rush concert. I got to see Rush live, right?
Canadian.
And they're one of the best bands ever.
I know.
Like worldwide. But yeah, as a Canadian, I was blessed to go see them live just before they stopped touring too. But at that concert, me and a very close friend of mine were smoking a joint, and I don't know what the strain was. Honestly, the funny thing is, it could have been one of the strains that made this one. But we were smoking a joint, and the taste and the way it feels brings me back to that. Like that feeling of like just the being at the concert and the excitement of going there and everything else. It's awesome, man.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it. Have you ever had a moment like that where you just took a hit of a joint or a bong and been like, it just immediately just brought a memory cleanly back to your head?
Well, yeah. I don't remember like the specific instance of when I, took that hit that made me remember.
Yeah.
But one of those moments that I constantly remember.
Or if there's a strain that reminds you of like.
Oh, a strain that reminds. Okay,
yeah, like if you smoke a strain
be,
that reminds you
yeah,
of it, like good.
Northern Lights.
Yeah, nice.
Not my favorite strain of all time, but definitely in the top 5.
It's a good strain. I've smoked it myself.
Strain.
It's a beautiful strain.
And as we said, we'll get the list out eventually. But Northern Lights brings me back to a memory of when I was younger, and me and my friends would just go around town, and I just had this backpack and a long sleeve shirt, and wrapped up in that long sleeve shirt was a quarter ounce of Northern Lights, two bowls, some lighters, and a grinder. And I would just roll it up into this t-shirt, stick it in my bag, and it was just
It's a
like
kit,
extra gym
man.
clothes or something. And me
Every
and my
young stoner,
friends,
every stoner who starts off needs a kit.
oh yeah. And that was just a basic one that could just get
Yeah.
thrown around, doesn't matter, could get ditched somewhere, and people
That's
would
why,
just
yeah, that's
come
why
by
you
like, oh,
just
it's a
wrap in your
shirt in a
shirt, turf
bag,
it,
nobody cares.
and turf it in the woods. Yeah, no one cares about it.
So, and then me and my friends would just walk through the woods and just fucking, oh, anybody can see us? Nobody's house nearby? Alright, pull out the kit, pack a bowl,
Pop a
smoke
squat.
up for a bit, and then chill there until we were good, and then just continue on our merry way.
That's magnificent, man. Like that's fantastic. Like and there are so many strains that I've got that like they remind me of different periods of my life, like that
Like
I
this,
could get. Like
and this is definitely one of those strains that reminds me of it. As I said, like a summertime hike, like, and you're smelling like the ferns in the ground, the dew, the leaves falling, or not falling, but the leaves growing, precipitating,
yeah, just like a fresh
photosynthesizing.
summer. Yeah,
You can
like
smell
that
it in the
fresh.
air.
Yeah, that like fresh day smell that you can only get on a fresh day, like and from that strain of weed apparently, which is
See,
fantastic.
see, now talking about it and smoking this, now I'm going into nostalgia mode.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean, man. And it's like, and I love that about cannabis, like, and we like throughout the show, I'm sure that we're gonna touch on strains that really mean a lot to the people listening as well, and like, if they have actually, that's in fact, if anybody listening has any strains out there, you can comment on any of our social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, like Twitter, whatever, YouTube, and just tell us of strains that you like that remind you of good times, because there's a lot of them out there. I'm sure we all have one that doesn't remind us of anything negative at all. And I definitely have a lot of those. I have like a ton of great memories with great people, and like just some strange ones. And this weed, I'd say it's the consistency of it that it just really reminds me of that, like just that moment in time, just standing there waiting to hear like just one of the coolest bands ever just rock out, and
Oh yeah.
and so it's really 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 neat. So this weed, not only is it visually nostalgic for me because it reminds me of one of my old favorite strains from when I first started smoking marijuana, like your Northern Lights. Mine was Armageddon.
Oh.
Like
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, the Armageddon, the nice brown like
Almost,
Afghani, like
almost black, dark strain.
oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And so like it's a lot like the Northern Lights means to you. It's like that strain that I always would get my hands on whenever I could. And so now whenever I see that nice dark strain, I'm drawn to it. Like if someone's like, "Hey man, this strain's like brownish, like purplish black." I'm like, "Gimme, gimme,
Yes.
gimme, gimme, gimme."
I want
Like,
that
not
dark.
just because purple herp's, beautiful, right? But
Oh,
like I mean, I loves me some flowers, but because of the fact that
I
it's
go
usually fucking great, like I love
a
dark
lot of.
weed. I think it's great.
Don't get me wrong, but all weed's good. But a lot of weed is green. Like you go
I
for the
know.
wild ones.
And now, don't get me wrong, green is my favorite color. You can probably tell. I mean, look at me if you're watching this YouTube video right now. But if you're not on the podcast, on the YouTube videos, I'm green specifically because it's my favorite color. But this,
Also,
like
if you
purple,
look at
brown,
our, YouTube or our Facebook and Instagram pages,
yeah, literally all of our social media, any social media that shows either one of us in any representative form, like like he's the perps and I'm the greens, and that's like so,
that's
and
how it
so it's one of
happens.
those things. Like yeah, so I love just like it's like when you go to a garden center, or you make a bouquet. Like normally you can have like 15 different shades of yellow and 15 types of yellow flowers, but it's good to throw a few green flowers and blue flowers in there to kind of change the dynamic. And that's what I like about like the brown weeds, is because when one comes across my desk, like like I'll pick some up. Like this, I was pleasantly surprised. I was plugging our podcast again when I was picking up weed today at the NSLC. I was speaking to the person working, and I talked to them about the podcast. They said it sounds like a fantastic idea, and they were going to tell their boss about it actually, and like let people know. And I told them I appreciate them, spreading the news, just like I would appreciate any of you spreading our links to your friends, family, loved ones, anyone that that would be a bud. But yeah, he was like standing there. I asked him, "Can you recommend a strain?" He said, "Seagrass." Never in my life had I heard of this strain. I heard of the brand Scotia. I think actually before I've smoked some of their marijuana on the podcast. I can't remember which strain it was, but I can look it up. But anyway, I digress. That he recommended that strain, and I had no idea. It was a complete. I literally went into this episode more blind than I've ever gone into an episode, because most times I've had either the strain I'm about to smoke at some point in the past in a different capacity, or I've smoked something related to it directly, so I have an idea. But with this one, it's an opaque container I can't see through, so I couldn't see what the nugs looked like. I couldn't smell it. I didn't know anything about it other than he recommended it, and there are no reviews anywhere on the internet. So when I opened this package and I saw those brown nugs, it immediately made me excited for this episode, and I can frankly say, just from the feeling I've gotten from this joint so far, that I've smoked and that bong hit, it's a nice weed. Seems to be good high energy weed, and I haven't lost focus yet, so that's a good thing. If you notice me drifting, Curtis, just give me a digital prod.
Digital slap you
straight. Yeah, just use my bag like a speedball or whatever, just fucking one of those. I'll wake right up.
All right. What?
Yeah. So anyway, on that note, I think it would be a fantastic idea if we covered some events going on in the world right now in a segment we like to call
Weed News Worldwide.
That's right. Weed News Worldwide. We are here covering some of the latest weed stories from all around the world. The first one coming at you I've got is from Ireland. Now, this is a pretty interesting one, Curtis. I think you'll think this is great. I personally like to refer to it as a very expensive roadkill.
All right.
But yeah, so essentially, being the guy that I am, the kind of stories I love looking up, over $1 million, Canadian and American, just for, both audiences, all audiences, and Irish, I guess. I don't know. But anyway,
our analytics do show that we do have a little bit of an Irish following, so...
We do.
Top of the morning to you, laddies. My name is Curtis, and welcome to the Good Buds podcast. And I just lost all of our Irish.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro, I just checked, and literally our analytics just dropped to 0 Irish listeners, so...
Streetwagon fucking schwagen schmorgen.
We gained 3 Russian listeners, though, which is odd. Anyway, so this story is crazy, man. So over $1 million worth of cannabis flew off of a truck onto a highway in Ireland. So what they're saying is about €1 million, which in Canadian dollars, the fun thing here is they did the math for me, is 1,722,366 Canadian buckaroonies worth of cannabis was recovered by Belfast Northern Irish Police after a truck. Yeah. So after they unintentionally dropped its load on the highway.
Ooh.
Yeah, it always sucks when you unintentionally drop a load.
Ew.
So the weed was apparently found wrapped up in trash bags, and they found it near a road junction, and they assume, they don't know for sure, but they assume that the bags were strapped to the roof of a large vehicle before they got, disentangled. I love the word that they used there. I'm using it myself. I'm stealing that word directly. Disentangled. And it went flying onto the road. It was like, yeet, right off the top of the truck. 1 million pounds of weed, gone. So, this is crazy, man. Yeah, so it's ridiculous. So it says here, one of the quotes from the article says that images of the scene depict small buds spilling out of the battered garbage bags and onto the concrete. It says, hold on one second, let me rephrase that. Images of the scene depict small buds spilling out of the battered garbage bags and onto the concrete. It's so sad, man. It's like a mournful situation. For only $1 a day, you could sponsor a bud. Oh, speaking of which, our Patreon is live. You can go, and it's more than $1, but for that much a month, you can donate to us and support a bud. Or 2 buds in this fact. But anyway, so on to the rest of the story here. So one of the detectives basically said it's a significant amount of drugs that they took out of circulation because in Ireland it is a Schedule 5 drug, I believe they call it, or Class B. No, sorry, it's a Class B drug is what they refer to it as. and that basically you can face a maximum penalty of 14 years in jail,
Ooh.
or, now this is an interesting part, an unlimited fine.
Pay unlimited monies.
Yeah, there is that is exactly it. The limit to the fine is indeterminate. So the judge could hypothetically, if you get busted with like I don't know if it's a joint, but like say just enough for it to be criminal, the judge could be like, "Yo, dog, you have to pay us $1 million," and the dude would be like, "Legit for like a joint," and the judge would be like, "Yeah, dude, straight up, like pay
Payment
up."
plan.
And it's like, yeah, and like that's what I mean, right? Like it's but I'm sure that they have a set kind of chart for, you know, the amounts and weights of the amount, like, but either way,
There has to be something.
come on,
like,
Ireland, for our Irish listeners alone, for the sake of our like 2 or 3 Irish listeners alone, please legalize cannabis in your country. It's just better for your country, and it'll make it so that you can, like, seriously, just make it legal. Just be like, yo, guys.
At least decriminalize it, you know, man. Like, come
I
on.
mean, yeah, guys, you have to put up with like England's bullshit all the time. The least
Come on,
you can
and they're
do is
sending
make
like
weed
ketamine
legal.
over to you guys. Like,
I know, like
come on,
seriously,
fuck
it's
that
actually
shit.
fun fact. Cannabis right now is the same as ketamine based on the drug laws over in Ireland right now, which is not uncommon. Actually, in America, federally, it's the same as like heroin and shit. Like you can get just as much trouble for both.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like, you know, like I mean, now obviously with heroin there's more trafficking involved than with cannabis, so traditionally there are higher charges for
digress.
that kind of thing. But I digress. It's wild that 1 million pounds, like not weight wise, like 1 million English dollar
English
pounds.
monetary.
Okay, over $1 million Canadian, over $1 million American dollars, flew off the top of a truck, they assume, and landed on the road. And basically, like, I don't know, like, honestly, if I went by, man, they are lucky they caught that bag, because if I was going by that, I can see it now. I'd be skateboarding by on my longboard, just kind of cruising by, and I'd see a garbage bag and be like, oh, weird, like, oh, garbage, who throws their garbage on the side of the road? And I'm usually, like, one of those dudes that if I'm, like, you know, walking down the road or something and I see trash, I'll pick it up and throw it out at the nearest convenient place. But, like, a larger trash bag, I'd probably look at it to try to find some identifying paperwork. Like, because sometimes people will throw their trash out, but they'll leave fucking, like, a piece of paper that says,
Yeah.
John sucks a dick, threw this on the side of the road. This is his address. But anyway, so I would have checked it and been like, yoink, and just kept going. Like, they would have found, like, 3 or 4 little nugs on the side of the road and been like, oh, I wonder why this marijuana's here. And I'd just be like,
What if it just had like a small? What if it just had like a small hole in the bottom and you were just trailing weed like? You got home
Like
and there's
Hansel
like
and Gretel.
there's a single nug on the floor, and then you go outside and there's just a straight line of Irish people picking up nugs behind you.
yeah, ooh, piece of weed. Ooh, piece of weed.
Oh yeah, piece
Ooh,
of weed.
piece of weed.
Oh yeah, piece
Ooh,
of weed.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
oi, piece of weed. Yeah, I'll let you do the Irish accent. You alienate the Irish audience. I'll keep them in my good books.
Well, they like you better anyway. You're green.
That's very true, and I am half Irish. But
They don't
yeah,
like
no, it's
me.
crazy, man. So it's wild. So I'm sure that you, as our other news anchor, probably have something crazy for us as well. What's going on in the world?
I do, but this one is kind of a not actual. So this is interesting.
Tangential branch?
Tangential branch. So,
Woo.
Mark Zuckerberg is
Oh, the Zuck.
The Zuck. The Zuck is not sucking. Mark Zuckerberg supports drug decriminalization with $500,000 Oregon campaign donation.
Zucky no sucky.
Exactly.
Dude, that's
So-
awesome. So he's legal. He's pushing for decriminalization,
So-
which is good.
He's in a campaign to work to pass a ballot measure to decriminalize drugs in Oregon, specifically, you know, like over-counter opioids, stuff like that. Get people more help as opposed to throwing them in jail and fining them. Getting people help for their addiction and stuff. So
Speaking
in
of
a
which, if you are facing any problems with addiction, then like don't hesitate. Reach out. People are here to help you. We always say, you know, reach out to us. We'll help you. I'll talk to you, man. Send us a message on fucking Facebook. I'll talk to you.
Exactly.
just reach out to someone. But anyway, carry on.
So he made a $500,000 contribution, to help, whatchamacallit, help this foundation and fund to essentially push for the decriminalization so people can get the help they need as opposed to uh, facing criminal penalties. On top of that, the bill would also count for the legalization of psilocybins, such as mushrooms and peyote and stuff like that, naturally occurring psychoactive drugs.
Oh, Shroomy nice.
Now, this is all in Oregon, so yeah, it's very nice that he's pushing for that, and hopefully, you know, that also means that he would push for hopefully some more lenient ads regarding marijuana in the future, so that way we
I
can
know.
advertise a little bit future.
Yeah, because as you guys might know, we did have to jump through several hoops in order to get it. We didn't really talk about it too openly, but we did have to jump through some pretty interesting hoops in order to get one of our promotional advertisements put on Facebook. Um,
By the
even
way,
though
anybody
yeah,
who's here as a result of that, what's up? Thanks for sticking around, and we hope
yeah.
you enjoy what you're seeing.
Thank you so much, and yeah, I really appreciate that. And if that's the case, I mean, that's really cool. And you can comment that on our Facebook. You can like our page there, and we'd love to hear from you. But it's I think it's really good because we did have to jump through some hoops, even though it's perfectly legal where we both live.
Right.
Where you live, where I live, and where we were targeting our demographics, we were targeting anybody who would be over the legal age to smoke, right?
Right.
And even in that case, we still had to not mention anything whatsoever that could. We actually even had to elude what the topic of the podcast was. We couldn't even say we reviewed cannabis.
We had to censor Shank's shirt.
Yeah, we had to censor my shirt because it had a giant marijuana leaf on it, and that could have been something that got it rejected the initial time. You can see both ads on our page. There's a rejected version and the accepted version, which are on our Facebook page, and I believe on our YouTube page as well, Chris?
Yes.
Yes, they are. So you can check them out there. We'll have links to those pages in the description, obviously, below. And just you can see the hoops we had to jump through in order to get the ad on there, but maybe in the future, once this has gone through, hopefully, or the act has been passed, then maybe he'll get a little bit more lenient company-wise in regards to their policies regarding cannabis advertisement, because we'd love to be able to advertise to you people out there.
Of course. By the way, this news story came to us courtesy of Marijuana Moment. Link will be in the description.
Yes, I should have mentioned mine came from it's the growthop.com, which is a news site that we also reach. Link also in the description.
The Growth Op was the news site for the
That is the Ireland cannabis flying off the truck. The very expensive roadkill is from the growthop.com is where I found that article.
Very nice. You got any other news stories for us?
I do, in fact, have one. It's not so much like a news story per se as a media piece. Though it is directly cannabis related, and it has Matthew McConaughey involved with it, which is always all right. So, there's a movie called The Gentleman, which is weed themed. It's about an expat who lives in London, and he builds a cannabis empire. And he essentially tries to sell the business. He's like, he wants to sell the business to somebody. So they've announced that they're going to be remaking this movie for TV and turning it into a TV show. And Guy Ritchie, who directed the original film, and he wrote the original film, he wrote it, directed. I love Guy Ritchie movies; they're intense. He'll also be doing the TV adaptation. So basically, he's going to be covering. So the movie and the TV show should have extremely similar tones, I'm guessing. Unless he decides to do something crazy and go a different direction. Or the famous thing, Curtis, Hollywood executive meddling.
I fucking hate those guys. Like, they always have to meddle in, they always have to change stuff, but I don't know, hopefully I've seen a lot more love put into the TV adaptations where these stories can be told over a long, broader segment, as opposed to just cramming everything into, a 2-minute movie, or a 2-hour movie.
I agree. Miniseries will always be superior, in my opinion, for telling stories over, you don't need a whole series. You don't need multiple seasons and everything else. Just a little miniseries that covers a story that arcs over is fine. You don't need, like, cram it all in a 2-hour movie.
Even without seeing it, which I, uh, yeah, well, I don't really know because the what I was gonna bring up was the live action adaptation of Avatar, which it's
Oh,
on.
the movie sucked.
I know the movie sucked, but Netflix was creating a live action TV series,
Oh,
which was
yes, and
supposed to be
apparently
a lot
that's
more
supposed to be better.
supposed to be better, supposed to be a lot more faithful. However,
Yeah.
after a long period of time, the actual co-creators of Avatar left the project
Yeah, which is always a bad sign.
due to production meddling. I
Hmm.
believe was one of their main reasons.
Yeah, so hopefully they don't have too much production meddling and change the overall tone of the movie, because the movie, like, I've so far I haven't watched it yet. It is on my to watch list. I will give it a thumbs up or thumbs down in the next episode after I
Well,
watch it this week.
well,
I'm not going to get
I
into a full review.
I won't watch it because I don't support Netflix anymore. But different story.
Well, no, no, no. I'm not talking about Netflix. This isn't actually. This is on Miramax, man. It's not even. It's a TV show.
What the
This isn't the
Avatar?
movie. The movie. No, no. I'm not talking about the Avatar show.
What are
No,
you
no,
talking
no. I'm
about?
talking the Gentleman,
Oh,
the Matthew McConaughey movie, the news story that I was covering, the media
well, yeah.
piece.
Well, we
Yeah.
just switched the topic to that for a second. So sorry.
Oh, just for a second, just for a second,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize. Just to clarify, because if you were confused, the audience may have been confused as well. But just to clarify, no, I'm talking about the Gentleman. Like, I hope that they
So
keep
the
the tone of the
Gentleman-
movie,
Yeah.
because that's the movie. Matthew McConaughey, he plays an expat. His name, actually, it's funny. His name is Mickey Pearson. And, so he's an American millionaire who uses an auto body shop that's called THC Wheels as a front for a cannabis business. That's not obvious. But anyway, yeah, it's fantastic. So anyway, what they're going to do is they're going to turn this from a movie into a TV show, which honestly I think is a fantastic idea, because I saw the trailers for the movie at least, and it looks interesting. And I'll check it out, like I said, throughout this week. I'm not going to check out Avatar, because again, I also do not support Netflix. But basically, I'll check out that movie throughout the week, and next podcast episode I will give you guys a thumbs up or thumbs down to let you know whether or not I enjoyed the movie. I'm sure that I will. It's got Matthew McConaughey in it, and that man is a treasure.
All right. All right. All right.
Alright. So, that is my media piece, man. That's pretty much all I've got to say about that. It's going to be coming very, in the future. I will give more updates as I learn more about when it's coming out, stuff like that. And, just keep this as, like, my media, little pet project. Keep an eye on it.
Very nice. Very nice. And our final news story today comes courtesy of Leafly.com. And this one was actually, well, Leafly is the source where I got it from, but this is originally from the Associated Press.
Fancy. Mine was, by the way, my last story about the TV show was from 420intel.ca. It's available on there.
All links in the description below.
Yeah, the links are below. I keep forgetting to tell you guys, so just look in the description, you'll see them there.
So, according to this news piece, the smell of cannabis alone is no longer cause for vehicle search in Pennsylvania, as by court ruling.
Dab on them hoes.
Exactly.
That's great, man. That's like, because that, frankly, is, if it's legal in the state, then the dank you must
Equate.
equate. I don't know. Fuck. I was trying to do the
Let's
glove don't
debate.
fit.
So, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
So, a Pennsylvania appeals court reversed a judge's ruling that the state police didn't have a valid legal reason for searching a car just because it smelled like cannabis.
Does this law apply to? It's in Pennsylvania, right?
This is in Pennsylvania. Currently,
Does this apply to the Amish people there? Like, if they're in their buggies, going down the road, cop pulls them over.
Can you really?
Hey, Jebediah,
Do you want
you
to
been smoking today?
You want to fuck with the Irish? I mean,
I would
Amish.
not.
Fuck.
You don't fuck with... Man, you're just on top of the Irish tonight. But no, you don't fucks with the Amish. They'll build a barn around you, knock it over on top of you, and then move it 3 towns over before they even, realize what's going on. But anyway, sorry, go on. I apologize.
So-
I digress. Go ahead.
So, a Pennsylvania appeals court reversed the judge's ruling. State police didn't have a valid legal reason for searching a car just because it smelled like cannabis. Uh, so that led to a man's arrest. The state superior court agreed with the county judge Maria Dantos that the smell of marijuana alone is not enough to give police the right to search a car without a warrant. Um,
Nice. Well, that's perfect, man. That's beautiful. That just means that, like, like, obviously they're not referring in this case. Like, I mean, it's they don't explicitly say it in the article, but I'm pretty sure that everybody in our audience is smart enough to differ, and that they're talking about like fresh weed in a baggie. Like, if you can smell it through the baggie, then they can't just search your car. But
right.
if you roll your window down when they pull you over and a cloud of smoke comes out, Cheech and Chong style, they're gonna be like, yeah,
Obviously.
get out the fucking car.
Impaired
Like,
driving is completely different than
that's different. Then
driving,
going home with your weed.
transporting.
Yeah,
Exactly.
going home with your cannabis is your legal right.
Yeah.
Like, it's you have no right to put other people in danger, but you have all the right in the world to take your cannabis wherever you want to before you imbibe it.
Right.
So, like, it's so that's the thing is they can't just pull you over and be like, I smell you've got some northern lights in there, son.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But
search the
anyway,
car. You're like, nah.
so yeah, this is just increasing a growing number of cases, that are coming to larger state courts where uh the smell is being rejected as a view of probable cause.
Nice.
Uh, Maryland had already figured this out in 2019 in a appeals court.
The best part to find the best thing to think about that though, the fact that they did rejected it means that they used that as their primary cause for searching, right? So they searched the car, they found something illegal, right?
Right.
And the
Something
problem
that would
is
have been absolutely hidden completely non
100%, exactly. So they
found
never would have seen it.
otherwise.
So they say that they smelled weed, they went into the car, and then they found something, and then the judge said that smelling weed was not good enough. So anything that they found is no longer admissible in court as any kind of evidence.
Exactly.
So if there was anything in there, they could have had like a knife with like fingerprints on it and like blood, and they'd be like, yeah, you can't use that because you found that through an illegal warrant.
Right.
Like, you can watch
That's
this guy now, you can watch him like a hawk and try to catch him up on something else, but that evidence can no longer be used
Yep.
because you
And
fucked
that's
up.
yeah, that's Fourth Amendment right. Your
Yeah,
right
damn
to
right. Damn
avoid
right.
the illegal search and seizure.
Exactly. And that is a right. Even in Canada, we have similar rights, like, because
Right.
that is something that should be universal. If you are not doing anything to harm somebody else, they should not be allowed to come into your space in any way and disrupt your life. It's just the way it should be. I mean, they can certainly monitor you from a distance, but they can't fucking touch you.
Now,
But
quick little
yeah,
tidbit.
yeah,
The man who was also charged initially in the court case that this
yes.
whole thing stemmed from, he was actually a medicinal marijuana card patient.
Oh, seriously?
Yep, medical marijuana is legal in Pennsylvania. It's
Oh
not
my
fully
god.
legal or decriminalized. It may be decriminalized. I can't remember exactly.
Oh my
Check our last
goodness.
episode. I had a nice little map that popped up. Shows everything.
Yeah. I remember that map. You can check on
Yep.
that episode. It's pretty friggin' sweet. Um,
But
but
uh,
speaking of
yeah.
criminals, was there more to the story there? Because I was
No.
thinking about something related to criminals that's really really crazy.
What you got?
Um, Half of the internet might hate me for saying this, but I am in love with how the new Batman movie looks.
Same.
I'm in
I
love with it.
agree.
It's dude like Robert Pattinson. Okay, I'm gonna say one thing, two words that yeah, two words because the second word is hyphen. Two words that make this probably my favorite Batman property to date.
Eh,
Eye makeup.
Yes.
When he takes off his bat cowl, he has blacked out makeup around his eyes, so that when he's wearing his mask, they're blacked out. Because in every other Batman movie, as soon as they take their mask off, blip, they've got normal eyes. It's like the makeup around their eyes comes off with the mask and goes on with it, and it
Well,
takes the out of it.
on
Like,
their
and
new suits, they don't even have fucking eye holes. It's literally goggles that fucking tell them
Exactly.
everything they
Yeah.
need to do.
Exactly. Right. So it's crazy, man. And like so, but in this,
And
it's
this
so
one takes
grounded.
place like his second year of being Batman, right?
Yeah.
Like
Year two
within
of
his
being
second.
Batman. Yeah. Like within that second year, basically, like he's been Batman for a little bit, but not like, he hasn't been Batman for that long.
He hasn't
Like
honed his
so.
skills, but he knows what he's capable of.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still trying to figure shit out, and basically the Riddler decides to start fucking murdering people, and he has to solve, like, this mystery, which is great, because it brings him back to the original roots of the detective comics, where, Batman was introduced. You know as well as I do,
Oh yeah.
Batman, like, Detective Comics was where Batman was first seen. And so, it's really cool because they always call him the world's greatest detective, but I mean really he's, in my opinion, they show him to be the world's greatest strategist and the world's greatest improviser, like MacGyver style improviser, more often than they actually show him resolving mysteries,
Right.
and this movie seems to go back to those like noir detective, like almost like Dick Tracy kind of
Yeah.
badass, but he punches the crap out of people,
Like, don't get me
like,
wrong, I love the technology and stuff they had in like the Dark Knight trilogy,
oh
but
yeah.
it kind of took away from him being an intelligent mind because he knew what to do, and then he just had to take it to a computer that did everything else for him.
Exactly. Like it's straight up like when it's I get that this they
I love,
wanted to go with it. They wanted
yeah,
to go with city scale threats, right? That's
of
the problem
course,
is with the Batman, like the Dark Knight, they were phenomenal movies, the Dark Knight trilogy, right?
of course,
Rest in
and
peace Heath Ledger.
yeah, and
But
absolutely
like
no hate to Chris Nolan or Christian Bale. They both
no,
did
they were
absolutely
magnificent.
magnificent. They
Christian
did
Bale's
their
one of my
part.
favorite actors, dude. He's
Yeah,
right up there, like top
but
five for
anyway,
sure. But anyway, what I was gonna say is that with those movies, even though they were more interesting and everything else, I've always wanted to see, like you're right about the fact that he had a problem that like they were going a city scale, so like he had to go to technology of some kind to solve his problem.
he had
So
to
like
solve his problems fast,
yeah,
quick, immediately.
in the one movie, he used all of the cell phones in the city to scan for something to detect, like, and everything. In the last one, he, like, flew off the bat plane and blew up the fucking, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen this old movie.
For like
But,
10 years.
yeah, 10-year-old movie. But, so, basically, like, yeah, he has the bat plane fly off and blow up the bomb over the water so he can fake his death and go bang Selena in France. Like, so it's like, it's one of
I
those
believe
things
it
where,
was Barcelona, España.
or Barcelona, Spain. Yeah, but yeah, however you want to say it. But yeah, and it's crazy because I want to see a Batman who relies more on the fact, like, who doesn't have all the cool gadgets, and he relies strictly on the fact that he is an amazing detective and he is amazing at solving crimes and figuring things out. Because like there are some of my favorite villains in the Batman Rogue Gallery. Like a lot, like there's obviously the great ones like Joker, Mr. Freeze. I'm sure you can name a couple. Scarecrow, fucking
Kitty lady.
yeah, Catwoman. Actually, she's more of a good guy at this point anyway.
Oh,
But like,
Mr. Freeze
yeah,
again.
yeah, Mr. Freeze again. But like that's what I mean. Like but like there's the popular ones. But like he's straight up got like villains
And
who
me,
like
motherfuckers.
you cannot forget Bane. But
Of course.
basically, it's like he's got the straight up like villains who like just murder people. Like they just their thing is like they just murder people. And there's like I mean Scarecrow's obvious, but like there's some brutal ones. They
Oh
literally
yeah.
all they do is they kill people. They're not special. They're not superheroes. They just go around murdering people, and Batman can't find them because they're squirrely. They just get around. They move around all over the place, and they can't.
There's
They
literally
can't.
a guy named
Yeah,
Killer Croc who is literally
yeah,
a killer crocodile with humanness to him. He eats people in sewers. Fuck.
yeah, yeah. Like legitimately, like 100% legitimate, and it's like it's one of those like it's crazy that these characters are just really intense characters, and Batman doesn't just it's not like the Joker where they broadcast what they're doing, or the Riddler where they broadcast what they're doing, or like Mr. Freeze who makes a giant freezing death ray. These dudes literally just skulk around alleys in random parts of the city and murder people. And like Batman and the cops can't find them because the cops are trying to find them and they're not having any luck. So they're like, "Hey, Batman, can you help?"
Newbies. A quarter, or let's see, a quarter of them are newbies. A quarter of them are old, almost retired guys, and the rest are corrupt and
Yeah,
probably working with the villains anyway. It still
exactly
leaves
right.
100,000 officers, but those are even now down. When
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a million murderers.
exactly right. So
Have you ever
it's
played what's that
yeah.
game called? Battle Simulator.
Oh god, yes. Oh god, yeah. Totally accurate battle simulator tabs.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that game's amazing.
But another
But
thing is, a
yeah,
lot of people are hating on the new Batman movie specifically because Robert Pattinson being the choice for Batman, which
dumb reason.
I swear to fucking God, people, that movie came out when I was in like high school. Don't fucking worry about that shit because he was
Hold on.
told to be fucking terrible. He
Hold on,
had to
hold
be
on. Let me
terrible.
clap it. Let me clap it, Adam Curtis.
Okay.
He hates Twilight as much as we do. Like, he doesn't. He hated that movie, and he acted. He's been quoted as saying, "I acted the script that they gave me and the way the director told me to." Every other movie he's been in, even the shit pieces, like Remember Me, that one where, like, in the end, spoiler
I
alert,
watched
it was
that movie.
9/11.
I actually watched that movie just because I knew about the ending spoiler, and I
Yeah,
actually got into the movie because he was actually a decent actor. It was a
he's
nice
not
movie.
bad.
It wasn't bad. I watched through it. It was very nice, very sweet, and then I actually forgot about the ending. And literally it happened. I'm like, "Oh shit, 9/11 happened."
Oh, yeah, holy man. Oh, you forgot about 9/11, man. If only there
It
was
made me
some way
forget about
that
9/11 for a moment.
if only there was anybody out there in the world that reminded anybody of 9/11 ever.
Yeah, that way nobody ever forgot.
Yeah, nobody would ever forget 9/11 if people just reminded people every now and then.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
but anyway, no, that's crazy, man.
and
But
then
he was
even
phenomenal in, like, yeah, go
The
ahead. Sorry.
Lighthouse.
Yes, sir. And well, any movie with Willem Dafoe in it gets my 100%, 100%, 100% fire, fire, fire emoji. Like every single time.
Of course,
Every
I
single time.
love Willem
Like, but
Dafoe.
in that movie, like, he was magnificent in that movie. The acting, like, it was intense. It was on point. He played the character and the role that he was supposed to play with, like, just, it was amazing. It was really well done. And from the small amounts that I've seen of the promotional work for the new Batman movie, it looks like it's going to be absolutely 100% awesome. It's got, like, a lot of aspects I'm really interested in. Like, a lot of people have been saying it's almost like a shot for shot kind of thing for, like, the movie Seven.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so if you're telling me right now that I could take the movie Seven and put Batman into it, and you're telling me that that would be a bad movie in any way, what is wrong with you?
See, but that's the one thing that sucks is that they still don't have Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt isn't Batman. I'm
I know, but
Batman.
I'm Batman. Oh my god! Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm Bradman. I'm it with Angelina Urgen now. I can't remember. Oh man, but seriously, like, it looks like it's going to be a great movie. I'm really excited for it. It's going to be like
Same.
just friggin' sweet, man. Like, if it's not, I'll
I can't
I don't
wait.
know, just say
I
it.
think that
Say I was
might
disappointed.
honestly be like the first movie I go back into theaters to see. Like everyone knows coronavirus, it sucks, social distancing, wash your hands, all that special shit. Wear a
I'm
mask
gonna
if you
stream.
have to, but
I'm
I
gonna
think
stream
that
it because
I
I
think
already got
that
a really.
what up?
Oh, go ahead.
I think that might be the first movie I'm gonna brave go to a movie theater and actually chill out, relax at.
Man,
And
hard to eat popcorn or nachos through a mask, bro.
I'll get one of those stupid fucking masks with a mouth hole. So
Oh
you
my god,
can
yes.
eat.
Just a little slit in the middle. Like,
Exactly.
nah, ow.
Well, I need to be able to eat.
Oh my god, I love it. I love everything about that. But no, I'm just gonna stream it, man, because honestly, I can eat whatever I want at home. I can smoke joints, and I can fucking, like, watch it on a big enough screen for me. and like, you know, my other half, I'm sure she's gonna be absolutely interested in watching it, and so like we're just gonna sit here, we'll stream it,
But I still want to
hopefully
just
legally.
I just
But I
want
mean,
to
it'd
get
be
that
great to
nice.
go.
I just want to get that nice experience, though. You know, the
Well,
smell of
yeah,
popcorn, the sticky floors, being able to go down in front. I think would be
you can
interesting.
you can do all of that at home though. You just get your brother to come in your room for 5 minutes and stand in front of the TV, and you know it'd be easy enough to do. You can pull that off.
Anyway,
Anyway. Oh man, so how are we doing for time there, brother? I think we may be running a little bit short for the evening.
I think we are. But really quickly before we go, how you feeling, Shank?
So man, I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. That strain is beautiful. It's like hitting me good. Very focused still, having a great time. I'm feeling really uplifted, very happy, very positive strain. I really do feel like I was kind of right that I could smoke this by a seaside, just like sit down by the shore, watch the waves, sit on a rock, and just smoke a couple of these doinks, and have a great time, man. How about you, man? You want to take another hit and tell me how if it's still treating you the same?
Well, it's feeling very good. It's like as of right now, like I'm feeling calm and similar to you. I feel like I could also be in a completely different landscape. Like I feel like imagine a fallen log that's at that perfect angle where you could just lay across it, nothing poking into your back or anything,
Oh
and then you
man,
just chill there laying in the woods. Fucking, you see some bugs, but they're not bothering you. A squirrel runs
Hakuna
by,
motherfucking Tata, man.
possibly seeing a deer. It's gorgeous. You
That's
smell the
that sounds beautiful, man. Okay, I gotta take another puff of that. I'm relighting this joint. I think you know what.
You got a
We
joint?
are.
I got a bong
Yeah.
right here, so let's light
Well,
these up
that.
one more time for the broskies at home.
Yeah, sounds
Little
good. You can light them
budsies.
up with us there. Yeah, little buds, man, and
One last
all
light
our
'em up.
buds out there, all over the world. Irish buds, I apologize for Curtis's decorum earlier. He'll do a formal apology video later where he like balls and stuff, and he's all like, "Ah, leave Brittany alone." But like
I'll
that's if
apologize
you're a
when they
Patreon.
stop taking my Lucky Charms.
Yeah, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get to see that kind of shit. You don't get to see that kind of shit on a regular thing. That's
Exactly. Subscribe to our Patreon. We have bonus videos and stuff that will go up.
legit. Like you're gonna love it. They're gonna be friggin' funny. Like
Exactly.
there's a white run, so you'll get it later. But yeah, man, I think we are running out of time. So let's roll one for the roads, homie.
For sure, bros. Roll one for the road. Don't forget to like us, comment, subscribe, and yell about this at random rock stars that are randomly passing by you.
Yeah, just like headbang 4 times or something like that. They'll know what you mean. They'll know what you mean.
Later, buds.
Later.